We have 3,100 turns of 20 gauge in this winding and this winding. And the output windings are 350 turns of 10 gauge. The new design, we have a new design, well, before I go into that, the way the core is built, we have two layers of mica tape on the bare steel, and then there's a third layer of mylar tape that has a very good cut-through resistance over the mica tape, and that's on the bare steel core. And then there are plates made of 30 thousandths thick mica plate covering each of the pole pieces on both sides where the wire is in contact with the pole piece. There's mica plates on each of the four faces of the pole pieces. And then the outer wrap is just, this is just fiberglass tape to protect the outside of the wire. We have this was only the third one that was built this way. And at this point we changed the insulation system. The next cores that are built will have bobbins, a two-piece clamshell plastic bobbin that will cover the steel. And they're made to fit snugly right into the corners between the pole pieces and the main core. And we'll still have the mica plates, but they'll be sitting on top of the bobbin in the corners. And then the wire will be wrapped on the bobbins. And then they're going to do a vacuum epoxy impregnation where well, they're going to add a boot to cover after the wire is put on the bobbin, there'll be a boot put on, and the boot will be filled with epoxy. And then they do a vacuum impregnation where they'll pull the air out and cause the epoxy to go right into the windings and fill for additional insulation. I'm told that that will double the insulation capacity. What we have to do here is to try to hold off up to 25,000 volts. So the new system, I'm sure, will be better. This one, I don't know how far we'll be able to go before we could possibly get some arcing. One of the things we're going to do is when the high voltage windings are operating, we're gonna put a spark gap across the primary circuit, so that if we do get an arc, it'll be external to the core, and that way we can protect the windings from shorting out. We had a spark plug initially and couldn't get the gap wide enough, so I think probably we'll do a linear. We'll just set up a couple of pieces of wire across the capacitors so that if it's going to arc, it'll be outside, and we'll adjust the gap for whatever we decide will be the maximum voltage. What I'm doing now is just the mica plates that were on here were sticking out a little bit. These 8 surfaces have to be flush, so the end plates will fit tightly up against the core. So I've just been trimming this to make sure that the mica is not sticking out above the surface of the spacers here. And then we'll use the core itself to lay out the hole pattern, and we'll drill the end plates, drill holes in the end plates to mount the core onto the end plates. So just trim this off of here. You want to cut there for a moment.